Ctv3 News. Bee attack turns a deadly. Autistic teen drowns after jumping into river near Halover Bridge in the old capital. After a 3-hour search, the body of 17-year-old Sulu is retrieved from the river. Unanswered questions mount after Samuel Chi's body is recovered. The vessel he was in remains missing and his family suspects foul play. Another teen goes missing from the Curacao district. And in some positive news, Curacao beekeepers get technical boost to strengthen colonies and increase honey production. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, August 7th, 2026.
Money travels fast, so make sure you check it before you spend it. Here are 4 easy ways to know your money is real. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Look closely at your note by holding it to the light to see the watermark and the note value. Notice how the see-through image completes itself perfectly. Feel for authenticity. Run your fingers over the raised portrait and the bars on the edges. 1 bar for the $2 and up to 6 bars for the $100. Tilt the note to see the hidden value appear. Look for the moving images on the security thread and holographic shimmer on higher denominations. Check closely. Use UV light or a magnifying glass to find hidden images and microtext. Remember, handling counterfeit money is illegal. If you spot a fake, report it to the police immediately. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Know your money. Check it before you spend it. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
It's easy to sit at home and blame the government for crime. A lot of people do it. Politicians do it all the time. It's like a game. Gang members shooting each other or innocent citizens. Blame the government. Blame the police. Narco players executed because of a drug deal gone bad. Blame the government. Blame the police. Domestic violence turned fatal, same thing. Every murder, no matter where, no matter why, same blame game. But our children weren't born criminals. When did they become murderers? Who taught them their values? Who taught them about right and wrong? Where are their parents, their families? It's not too late to save your child. It's not too late to raise your child right. Keep them in school. Keep them off the streets. Teach them the value of hard work. Teach them honesty and integrity. Love them before it's too late. Stop the blame game and let's all be the village that raises our children. A message from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Violence Prevention and Enforcement Unit.
Today will be the inauguration of the backup water system. This will be able to assist the Pomona Water Board to expand, and if there's a breakdown with the current system, this can also be a backup. There are times when, especially in the dry season, when the current system might run low or might run dry, and that by itself creates a problem to fetch water. So we are hopeful that if this is not used as much right now, when the other system runs low, this will kick in.
We must ensure that people have access to clean, safe, potable water, just like everybody else across this country. What you see here today is an investment of over $160,000. It includes all the pipes that you see here. We also have other accessories. We have a backup generator. We have the solar system. And we also have a booster pump.
The most difficult part that hindrance development is the access of water. We have reduced significantly the amount of people that were deprived from accessing a basic need such as water.
I am elated, very happy to be here, receiving the system. I think everybody would be very happy, very happy.
When we call it, we have no water, no nothing. That was an empty spot, but it's home now. They have a pipe right out there, so it's still okay, just that we had to reach up to get the water. I cannot wait to have it reach to our door.
Every day, the demand on your business get higher. More productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. A search for a missing teenage girl ended tragically this afternoon after her body was recovered from the Belize River near the Halover Bridge in Belize City. The victim has been identified in reports as 17-year-old Sulu, who was reported missing after jumping into the river to escape a swarm of bees. According to preliminary reports, Lou was walking with her elderly father near the Halover Bridge on the Philip Golson Highway shortly after 1 this afternoon when the pair were attacked by a swarm of bees. In an attempt to escape the bees, the teenager reportedly jumped into the river and disappeared from sight. A search operation was immediately launched involving lifeguards and personnel from the Belize Coast Guard. After several hours of searching, Coast Guard divers located her body at approximately 3:05 p.m., not far from the area where she was believed to have entered the water. The recovery brings a tragic end to the search for the teenager, who was also reportedly autistic. The circumstances surrounding the incident remain under investigation. Authorities are expected to provide further details as they become available. Questions continue to surround the tragic disappearance of two fishermen after the body of Samuel Chi was returned to his grieving family 3 days ago, following a search that ended with one man rescued and the other found dead at sea. Chi's body was recovered approximately 36 hours after he and Albert Vaccaro were reported missing when they failed to return from a fishing trip on Sunday. Vaccaro was found alive during the search, while Chi's body was discovered the following day about 4 miles away in the water. Authorities are still searching for the vessel the men used, as the Coast Guard has not yet located or recovered the boat. Its disappearance has added to growing speculation about what unfolded on the open sea and how only one of the two men survived the ordeal. The uncertainty has fueled suspicion among Chi's relatives who have publicly stated that they believe foul play may have been involved. Family members say there are numerous unanswered questions surrounding the incident and are calling for a thorough investigation into the circumstances that led to Chi's death. So far, police have not disclosed what information, if any, investigators obtained from Vaccaro, who was taken to the hospital after being rescued. Officials have remained tight-lipped about the details of the account of the incident. However, Chi's family says one brief video clip stands out. In the recording, Vaccaro appears to describe someone grabbing them, a statement the family believes could be significant as investigators work to determine exactly what happened during the fishing trip. As the investigation continues, both authorities and the Chi family await more answers about the events that turned what began as a routine day of fishing into a tragedy. Police have formally arrested and charged 3 male minors in connection with the murder of 18-year-old Ewart Josiah Hernandez Jr. On Thursday, August 6, two 17-year-olds and a 15-year-old were jointly charged with murder in relation to Hernandez's killing, which occurred in Belize City on Monday, August 3rd. Hernandez was reportedly on a motorcycle in the Swift Hall parking lot at around 1:15 p.m. when he was approached by two males. One of the men allegedly produced a firearm and fired a single shot, striking Hernandez. He was rushed to the Carl Houston Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 1:32 p.m. Investigators recovered an expended shell casing from the scene, and police said surveillance footage from cameras in the area assisted investigators in pursuing suspects. Police had initially detained persons for questioning as the investigation progressed. Police had also said that Hernandez was not known to them and that no motive had been established for the killing. The Agriculture Department in the Corozal District, in collaboration with the National Beekeeping Coordinator and the Climate Resilient Agriculture Project, CRESAP, has concluded a two-day technical training aimed at strengthening local bee colonies and increasing honey production. The training brought together 18 participants, including honey producers and agriculture extension officers. The sessions covered key areas of beekeeping, including bee biology and hive infrastructure, supplemental colony feeding, and integrated pest management. Participants also received the practical hands-on experience where they learned how to prepare and install internal and external hive feeders and conduct proper hive inspections. A major focus of the training was helping beekeepers better identify, prevent, and manage pests and diseases that can threaten bee colonies, including varroa mites and small hive beetles.
To have a healthy to have a healthy hive so that they can be productive, no? The advent of more and a more aware local market, there's a lot more consumption of honey and other products in Belize has opened up opportunities for farmers. And this training, this two-day training was more geared to our beginning beekeepers so that they can prepare themselves. There's a lot of interest from the farmers. They constantly ask for these sorts of trainings. This is our daily work that we visit our farmers as extension agents. And when we get a group of them that are interested in a particular set of topics, then we organize these trainings, which thanks to CRESAP funding from the Climate Resilience and Sustainable Agriculture Project, then we're able to give these trainings to better equip our farmers.
The training also comes as the Agriculture Department looks to see greater productivity within the local beekeeping sector. Organizers say that improving colony health and management practices can ultimately translate into stronger colonies and increase honey yields.
Talk to us about the significance of each of these areas, these topics, sorry.
When we venture into the bee biology and hive management, the practical gain of participants, they understand a better honey bee biology, the colony behavior, and also proper hive management practices. The knowledge helps beekeepers to maintain strong colonies and make better management decisions whenever it comes to what to do inside the colony. When we conducted the supplemental feeding area, the training addressed that importance of proper colony nutrition, especially during the period that we are going to, which is their period when natural food sources are limited out there. Beekeepers in this session learn seasonal feeding practices and also gain the hands-on experience preparing and installing either the internal or external feeding techniques. The area on integrated pest management, the participants were trained on monitoring, preventing, and controlling major pests and disease, including two that we have here in Belize, which was the varroa mite and the smile hive beetle. Through this session, what they also gained or learned proper hive inspection and a sustainable management practices is essential for the production and the health of the colony.
With climate conditions, pests, and diseases continuing to pose challenges for bee colonies, the focus is now on putting the lessons learned into practice and building a stronger and more productive beekeeping sector in Corozal.
Which was to put all our data that we have into a traceability system, which was in partnership with OIRSA. So we are working towards the development of our beekeeping industry, and we are seeing growth in number of colonies, in number of beekeepers, and now we want to see the growth in the production area. We want to see beekeepers harvesting 60 pounds as per colony, rather than what we have been having for the past years, 35, 40 pounds. So doing these important steps that we need as we go through the beekeeping calendar, then we can reach the amount of production that we are looking forward to.
Very, very receptive to the information. We see them very enthusiastic about learning that they can keep up production, or keep up the level of production from their colonies, by having them survive the shorter, the scarcer seasons, no? So they are able to maintain a very healthy colony, so that when it's time to start producing, when the flowers start to come again, that they can produce honey, then they will have a very much more efficient production. So it translates to more money for them, and that makes them very excited to want to implement.
Coming up next, the Senate approves revised occupational safety and health bill after extensive amendments. Stay tuned.
In Belize, the Public Utilities Commission works every day amid the rhythm of economic activities to ensure homes, businesses, and communities have access to necessary utility services. Through regulations, the Public Utilities Commission powers progress, connect communities, encourage new ideas and bold innovation, manage consumer rights, guide change, and serves in the best interests of national development for a future that benefits us all. Every decision is informed by evidence and guided by regulations and the law. So if and when changes arise in any of Belize's utility sectors, including situations that may affect competition, regulations and laws allow the PUC to carefully assess those changes, ensuring consumers are treated fairly while maintaining a sustainable utility sector. The Public Utilities Commission, guided by the law, informed by evidence, working to ensure fair and sustainable utility services for Belize.
At the beginning, it was a bit challenging because it sounded so good and so promising that I think people were reluctant in embracing the idea. But after 2 years in this NHI program, the perception of people and the usage of people for the services that we offer is very much appreciated. And the people are using all the services that we have. And our population has grown a lot. We actually have registered, which by the way, I have to mention this, we never expected to grow this fast. We are at 12,000 and plus registered patients with us right now. And the numbers are growing on a daily basis, I would say. For the general physicians and the specialists that include the gynecologist, the pediatrician and the internist. And now we have a nutritionist, it's $2, which is very accessible to people. And when it comes to the laboratory or the images, it's just a 10% cost that they pay for the whole service that is offered. If we have a healthy community, then I would say that the whole country itself is going to benefit from it, because a healthy community is going to be successful economically as a whole. That is my vision of the NHI. It serves its purpose.
Every day, the demand on your business get higher. More productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
Money travels fast, so make sure you check it before you spend it. Here are 4 easy ways to know your money is real. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Look closely at your note by holding it to the light to see the watermark and the note value. Notice how the see-through image completes itself perfectly. Feel for authenticity. Run your fingers over the raised portrait and the bars on the edges. 1 bar for the $2 and up to 6 bars for the $100. Tilt the note to see the hidden value appear. Look for the moving images on the security thread and holographic shimmer on higher denominations. Check closely. Use UV light or a magnifying glass to find hidden images and microtext. Remember, handling counterfeit money is illegal. If you spot a fake, report it to the police immediately. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Know your money. Check it before you spend it. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
Tonight, the family of 16-year-old Elizabeth Mai, a student from Corozal, is asking for the public's assistance in locating her. Mai was reported missing today, Friday, August 7th. Mai, who was last seen yesterday, Thursday, August 6th, is described as being of fair complexion, slim built, has long black hair, and is about 5 feet 2 inches tall. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Mai is asked to contact the nearest police station. After months of review and consultation, Belize has moved a step closer to strengthening workplace protections as the Senate approved the revised Occupational Safety and Health OSH bill during its Tuesday, August 4, 2026 sitting in Bamapan. The legislation cleared the upper house despite a walkout by opposition and independent senators over an unrelated telecommunications matter. Their departure did not prevent the Senate from debating and passing the bill, which now includes more than a dozen amendments designed to enhance worker protections, including new provisions covering domestic workers.
Mission of domestic workers has been rectified in section 3 of on clause 3 of the bill. I don't particularly like this formulation, but I trust that it is a better formulation than what we had before. And clause 3(2), because I must make specific reference to the bill when I'm debating, says that the act shall apply to domestic workers, but subject to such limitations, safeguards, and procedures as may be prescribed, having regard to the constitutional privacy rights within private residence. I think, Madam President, when we are in the realm of competing rights, it's very important to appreciate that we didn't simply rule out domestic workers as having the benefit of the OSH. But I hope that the domestic employers, those who are privileged enough to have domestic workers in their employ, I understand some people in the front bench may have entire staff working in their households. Right, Senator Montejo? But it's important that we don't rule out those categories of people from the protection of the OSH while still ensuring that the sweeping powers that we give to an inspectorate or to an inspector doesn't infringe on the privacy rights of homeowners.
During the debate, private sector Senator Kevin Herrera welcomed the progress made on the long-awaited legislation, but highlighted concerns about Section 65, which outlines the measures that may be taken when the law is breached. Herrera called for greater clarity on how the enforcement process would work in practice and what penalties employers could face for violating the act.
#64 and 65, Madam President, clear statutory timelines for reinspection and reopening. Section 64 gives Chief Inspector authority to issue immediate closure notices where imminent danger exists. While emergency intervention is necessary to prevent injury, Section 65 lacks clear post-closure timelines once the employer remedies the issue. If a business takes immediate corrective action to make its workplace safe, it should not remain closed indefinitely, waiting for an inspector to return. Every day of delay means lost revenues for the employer and lost wages for the workers. We call for statutory timelines that compel the inspectorate to reinspect a workplace within a prescribed time frame following notification that remedial work is complete, and render a formal determination on lifting the closure notice without delay. And of course, as we can appreciate here, Madam President, is that we don't want to have businesses close indefinitely or unreasonably long, because it hurts both the business, the company, and the worker. And I'm sure it's not the intention of the bill to create that type of onerous situation. Enforcement protections and privacy rights for domestic workers under Section 3, Madam President, extends the protection of this act to domestic workers, subject to future regulations regarding constitutional privacy rights within private residences. And I think that Senator Faber has raised this, the issue on domestic workers a number of times in these sessions, as I can remember. We recommend the inclusion of domestic workers, however, leaving enforcement framework entirely to future unspecified regulations creates legal uncertainty for households and domestic workers alike. The draft is silent on entry warrants, resident consent, the rights of household members who are not the employer, and how broad Section 10 powers apply inside a private home. Without clear guidelines, we risk creating a rights conflict that leads directly to constitutional challenges. We recommend that the regulations governing domestic workers' safety be drafted concurrently with this legislation, explicitly addressing notice and consent procedures for entering private residences, alternative compliance mechanisms such as off-site interviews or documentation reviews, and clear boundary definitions balancing workplace safety with the constitutional right to privacy in one's home.
Although the Senate has now approved the OSH bill, the legislation will now be rolled out all at once. Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Senator Eamon Courtney, explained that the remaining amendments will be introduced through a phased implementation process. Courtney told the Senate that a detailed implementation roadmap has already been prepared to guide the rollout of the act. He also disclosed the government has allocated $500,000 in this fiscal year's budget to begin putting the law's provisions into effect, marking the first step towards strengthening occupational safety and health standards across the country.
If we had taken the time, if senators had taken the time to read the implementation roadmap, they will see that there is a complete breakdown in the budgetary needs that the ministry have identified out of their CAP 2 budget, $516,301 that is required for the current fiscal year. They have identified it in their phased approach. They have explained how it's for implementation budget for staffing, salaries, transport, equipment and supplies, and meetings, training and education, and the phased funding plan. They then give an indicative 3-year implementation framework. Within 6 to 12 months, what is to happen after the act is passed. Within 9 to 18 months, what is to happen. Within 18 to 36 months, what is to happen. Pointing out, of course, Clause 87 of the bill empowers the minister to bring in the bill and different parts of it at different times. They go beyond that in Part 6 to set out the indicative staffing projections, year 1, year 2, year 3, coming to a total of 18 at the end of year 3. The bill still needs further work, and everyone understands that. And I am saying that what the staff of the ministry contemplate is a phased approach, so that as they train up people, as they get their staff, as they get more budget allocated, they will bring in different parts of the legislation.
Belize's justice system is taking another step towards modernization with the launch of the official Magistrates Court website designed to make court information and services more accessible and user-friendly for the public. The Magistrates Court is often the first point of contact with the justice system for many Belizeans. The new online platform is expected to make that experience easier by providing the public with information and practical tools without requiring them to visit a courthouse for every matter. Among the services available through the website are online filing for civil claims, requests for court orders, child maintenance matters, and other court-related information. The website is also designed to be easily accessible from both computers and mobile devices. Chief Magistrate Deborah Rogers says the launch represents an important step in improving how the magistracy serves the public.
Court. This is a big win for the Magistrate Court. For quite some time, Belizeans have been asking us to have an online presence so that they don't have to battle with phone lines and calling the court to be able to access information or having to travel long distances to get the guidance that they need. And for the longest time, we haven't had a prominent presence online. We were usually just a drop-down arrow on the Attorney General's ministry website or on the senior court's website. So now we have our own platform where we're able to speak for ourselves and really meet the public halfway in helping them understand how we operate and the role that they play in the justice system when they have to interact with us.
The initiative has been several years in the making, according to Elizabeth Lanzi Mozzacini, Program Officer with the European Union. The project has been in the pipeline for approximately 4 years and forms part of a broader effort to modernize Belize's legal and justice systems.
So the website is one milestone of a bigger reform process that we're supporting in Belize to support the justice sector transformation. The website is crucial because it brings the sector closer to the people, meaning that without a website, people have to get on the bus, travel for hours, spend a lot of money, try to go get the form. They have to rely on information from their friends or their neighbors or relatives that may be wrong. They have to be on call for a long time trying to get an answer. So it's really complicated. So what the website does is that it makes it easier for the people living in Belize to be able to get clear guidance, clear information, download the forms on their own, and kind of get information which is in plain, simple language, not legal jargon, because we know that can be really tough, in Spanish and English. Okay. So it's a great start.
All right, last question. How do you all feel about the final product?
I took a look yesterday night while I was preparing to talk today. I think it's really great. I think it's a great start. I found it user-friendly, easy to navigate. I like the fact that it's in 2 languages. Of course, we know there's more languages spoken in Belize, but perhaps that will come gradually. So all in all, 10 and 10.
What's the timeline of this project? When did it start?
The project started about 4 years ago now. It benefits 8 countries in the Caribbean region, Belize being one. I have to say Belize is the one that has performed, it outperformed all the other countries in the Caribbean, so you should be proud of yourselves. And it will be winding down in a few months' time, in about 6 months now, yeah. A lot was done in terms of providing specialized training, capacity development, supporting the development of legislation, like the DNA legislation that came out very recently, providing support to the forensic service, many different trainings for the judiciary, the magistrate court, and so on, and a lot more to come as well.
Officials say the goal is not only to provide information online, but also to make court services more efficient and reduce some of the barrier members of the public may face when navigating the justice system.
For now, the website is mainly a resource-based website. We have updated several of our application forms. Persons who would have interacted with the court before know that several of our application forms came in a half sheet with very vague information. It required the name of the plaintiff, the respondent, their contact information, and you had about a 2-inch space to explain your entire claim. And so we appreciated that that did not help the public when they came for assistance to the court. We now have separate application forms for landlord and tenant matters, small claims. We have updated our general application form. We also have a frequently asked section. What is bail? What is a summons? What do I do when I get summoned to the court? Where do I go? If I can't appear for the court date, how do I ask for an adjournment? I don't want to have to travel to Belize City or to Cayo. Can I get a virtual hearing? How do you do those things? So this website is meant to be a tool to assist the public on how to operate when they come to the magistrate court, to have information so that they know exactly what to ask for and get the exact services that they need.
The website provides users with clear information on court procedures and services with an intuitive design intended to make navigation easier for people using different devices.
So the website is one milestone of a bigger reform process that we're supporting in Belize to support the justice sector transformation. The website is crucial because it brings the sector closer to the people, meaning that without a website, people have to get on the bus, travel for hours, spend a lot of money, try to go get the form. They have to rely on information from their friends or their neighbors or relatives that may be wrong. They have to be on call for a long time trying to get an answer. So it's really complicated. So what the website does is that it makes it easier for the people living in Belize to be able to get clear guidance, clear information, download the forms on their own, and kind of get information which is in plain, simple language, not legal jargon, because we know that can be really tough, in Spanish and English. Okay. So it's a great start.
All right, last question. How do you all feel about the final product?
I took a look yesterday night when I was preparing to talk today. I think it's really great. I think it's a great start. I found it user-friendly, easy to navigate. I like the fact that it's in 2 languages. Of course, we know there's more languages spoken in Belize, but perhaps that will come gradually. So all in all, 10 and 10.
What's the timeline of this project? When did it start?
The project started about 4 years ago now. It benefits 8 countries in the Caribbean region, Belize being one. I have to say Belize is the one that has performed, it outperformed all the other countries in the Caribbean, so you should be proud of yourselves. And it will be winding down in a few months' time, in about 6 months now, yeah. A lot was done in terms of providing specialized training, capacity development, supporting the development of legislation, like the DNA legislation that came out very recently, providing support to the forensic service, many different trainings for the judiciary, the magistrate court, and so on, and a lot more to come as well.
Members of the public can access the new Magistrates Court website at magistracy.gov.bz. The Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BCCI, is urging government to tighten its public procurement controls, arguing that weaknesses in the system, not simply the dollar value of purchases, are allowing questionable spending practices to persist. The call came earlier this week during a BCCI media roundtable focused on improving public procurement and strengthening good governance. The organization's agenda centers on greater transparency, accountability, oversight, and stronger public institutions as scrutiny continues over government spending, including developments surrounding the Ministry of Defense and the Mira Millions controversy. During the question and answer session, attention turned to the $10,000 procurement threshold and whether it should be raised to give government greater flexibility when making purchases. BCCI Chief Executive Officer Kim Aikman, however, suggested that changing the threshold would not address the deeper problem. According to Aikman, the more pressing concern is how procurement rules are administered and the individuals responsible for managing the system.
It's not about the threshold at all. I mean, and I don't think that we are advocating to increase the threshold. The $10,000 is fine as long as the processes and procedures are upheld. I mean, in the private sector, if I am spending more than $1,000 or it doesn't, I will have to seek further authority. So the process has to happen, and that is what is not happening now. Also in the private sector, we have a system that we call Transvision that flags anything over a certain amount, or if you are doing a transaction without the proper approvals, it flags it, and then you have to go back and get all the processes in place. So in our view, it's really not about the threshold. As the president said earlier, it's the people behind.
The thing that is
BCCI Executive Counselor William Neal echoed that position, calling for an end to questionable purchase approval practices within government.
That is interesting is that you still have your technical people very often in the same positions, right? And it's whether a minister can give you a directive by word of mouth or whether there needs to be documentation for you to actually follow through, right? What are the systems within the government system that actually means that you have been authorized, and then that you can abdicate, you know, your responsibility, your personal responsibility from saying, I have been instructed to do this. Here is the documentation.
The discussion also brought renewed attention to split payments, a practice that has been flagged in previous reports by the Auditor General. One example cited during the roundtable came from the Auditor General's report for fiscal year 2015-2016. The report identified a small number of split payments associated with the San Antonio Polyclinic covering the period from January to September 2013. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Every day, the demand on your business get higher. More productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
It is a distinct honor to be here in Belize for the launch of the Caribbean Development Bank's Basic Needs Trust Fund 11 program, BNTF 11. For more than 4 decades, BNTF has stood as one of the bank's most visible and impactful instruments for community-based poverty reduction. Here in Belize, the legacy is clear. Over the past 25 years, BNTF has completed 79 sub-projects in vulnerable communities at an estimated cost of $23.79 million United States dollars. Through BNTF 11, we have begun a new cycle of investments. This investment of more than $5.2 million United States dollars represents far more than approved financing. It represents a renewed commitment.
BNTF has supported transformative investments in education, water and sanitation, community infrastructure, livelihoods, and social development. Through BNTF 11, we have an opportunity to build on that legacy by ensuring that our investments respond directly to the needs of our people, particularly the most vulnerable among us.
The new school building has made a huge difference for me and my classmates.
The improvement to our school have made our learning environment cleaner, safer, and more comfortable. Thank you to the Caribbean Development Bank, with the Social Investment Fund, the government, and everyone else who helped.
No one must be left behind. Not that child attending school in rural Toledo, not the farmer in Orange Rock, not the family in Corozal, not the communities that continue to face challenges accessing basic services.
many ways, today sets a tone for the months ahead. The theme we unveil this afternoon will become the thread that connects our celebrations across every district, across every community, and across every generation.
We have different traditions, food, histories, but those differences don't divide us. Instead, they have become the story we tell together. And that story is what visitors fall in love with. Our barrier reef, ancient Maya sites, and rainforests attract visitors to our shores. But ask them what they remember most. The answer is almost always the same: the warmth of the Belizean people.
Every Belizean has a story. Every Belizean has something to contribute. Every Belizean, in both ways, great and small, helped to shape this nation.
Sometimes, in the rush of daily life, we forget to be grateful. But let us remember, Belize remains a nation that can celebrate many things. Look at me. I am Belize. You are Belize. We are Belize. Let us carry this pride forward. Happy 45th anniversary, Belize.
Today will be the inauguration of the backup water system. This will be able to assist the Communal Water Board to expand, and if they get breakdown with the current system, this can also be a backup. There are times when, especially in the dry season, when the current system might run low or might run dry, and that by itself creates a problem to fetch water. So we are hopeful that if this is not used as much right now, when the other system runs low, this will kick in.
We must ensure that people have access to clean, safe, potable water, just like everybody else across this country. What you see here today is an investment of over $160,000. It includes all the pipes that you see here. We also have other accessories. We have a backup generator. We have the solar system. And we also have a booster pump.
The most difficult part that hinders development is the access of water. We have reduced significantly the amount of people that were deprived from accessing a basic need such as water.
I am elated, very happy to be here, receiving the system. I think everybody would be very happy, very happy.
When we call it, we have no water, no nothing. That was an empty spot, but it's home now. They have a pipe right out there, so it's still okay, just that we had to reach up to get water. I cannot wait to have it reach to our door.
Very elated and happy because it's a brand new project for Pomona Village. As a matter of fact, if you had come here in 2024 at this time, it's going to be only bush. You can see development here already. So we put in the infrastructure when it comes to roads and drainage. Today, we are going to issue 150 titles. People are very happy that they can go and build a house for their family. I want to thank the Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Corey Hyde, for the support. And we are here today now to look at this brand new community that will benefit many Belizeans.
I'm happy to get my piece of land and that they have a nice place to live. You have your own land.
I appreciate what they did for me. I'm happy for the land. I never expect this would be so early. I thank the minister for the land because for renting it, it's totally expensive. I really appreciate what he did for our family. Like what he said today, it's moving on like from generation to generation.
For families who have spent years wondering what happened to a missing loved one, an answer may finally be within reach. The National Forensic Science Service, NFSS, is intensifying efforts to identify approximately 20 sets of skeletal remains currently in custody, some of which have remained unidentified for nearly 3 decades. The remains were recovered between 1998 and 2020 from various districts across Belize. The initiative is aimed at giving names to those who died without being identified and ultimately helping families bring their loved ones home. According to NFSS Executive Director Jian Shaw, the agency has already achieved its first successful reunion under the project, with one set of remains recently handed over to the deceased person's next of kin through an NFSS representative. Cho said forensic officials are also awaiting DNA results for several other cases and anticipate that about 3 additional identifications could be completed within the next 2 months. The NFSS is now appealing to relatives and friends of people who went missing between 1998 and 2020 to provide any information that could assist investigators in connecting the unidentified remains to a family. To support that effort, the agency created an online information form in August 2026. The form is intended for people who may have knowledge about someone who disappeared during the specified period and are willing to provide details that could help forensic officials narrow down potential matches. If information submitted through the form shows a strong connection to one of the unidentified cases, the NFSS will contact the individual who provided the information. A voluntary DNA sample may then be collected for comparison with the skeletal remains. The project relies on a combination of DNA testing, historical records, case information, and public cooperation to establish identities. Shaw emphasized that the initiative is focused on unidentified skeletal remains already recovered and held by the NFSS. It does not involve investigating every outstanding missing person report where no remains have been found. At the heart of the effort, officials say, is the dignity of the deceased and the need to provide answers to families who have spent years without knowing the fate of their loved ones. The NFSS is encouraging Belizeans who had a family member or close friend disappear to come forward with any information that could help solve one of these long-standing cases. Of note is that the identification service is free of charge. The NFSS will never ask family members to provide banking information or make any payment as part of the identification process. Agriculture Minister Honorable Rodwell Ferguson took his ministry's outreach efforts into the field today, visiting a number of agricultural operations throughout the Belize district to gain a closer understanding of the issues affecting farmers and other stakeholders. The tour formed part of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security, and New Growth Industries' continued engagement through its Belize District Extension Services. During the visits, Minister Ferguson held discussions with farmers and agricultural stakeholders, listening to their experiences and concerns while exploring opportunities to provide stronger support to the sector. Among the key challenges raised were the growing effects of climate change, changing and unpredictable weather patterns, and the difficulties associated with rain-fed agriculture, which leaves farmers particularly vulnerable to shifts in rainfall and other environmental conditions. The minister's tour got underway at the headquarters of Wild Dog Food, a Belizean-owned pet food company, where Ferguson and his delegation were given an overview of the company's operations. The team later met with members of the Bomba United Farmers Cooperative Society Limited, gaining insight into the cooperative's activities and the needs of its members. The agricultural tour continued with a visit to the cattle farm of Juan Lopez in Rockstone Pond, where the minister had the opportunity to see the realities of livestock farming firsthand. The final stop was in Lords Bank Village, where Ferguson visited the hydroponics operation run by Jimmy Jones and his family. The innovative farming facility highlighted alternative approaches to food production that can help address some of the challenges associated with traditional agriculture. Through the series of visits, the ministry gathered the first-hand perspectives from producers operating across different areas of the agricultural sector. The engagement is expected to help inform efforts to improve extension services and develop practical measures to assist farmers as they navigate evolving environmental and production challenges. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, August 10th here on Ctv3 News and Face FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.